have known Miss B, or Miss Babcock, for my entire teaching career. She helped me through my student teaching in college and when I was a special ed teacher, and now we work together. We've worked together for 2 years, and I think what makes her a great teacher is that she is always understanding and very accommodating, not only with her students but also with her coworkers. And I think her being accommodating is very fitting for a special ed teacher because no matter the circumstances, she is always looking to better her students and those around her. Even if it's hard, even if she's frustrated, you can't tell because she is here for the success of her students and everyone around her.
When I think of Laura Babcock, there are 2 things that come to my mind. The first are dedication and hard work. She is possibly one of the most hardworking teachers that I've ever been around. She's here early, stays late. She's extremely dedicated to her grade level and her students. The second thing that I would really like to highlight about Laura Babcock is her relationship with her students. Laura not only is their teacher, she's also their mentor and a lot of times their friend, and she always advocates for her students.
My best day of teaching happened at the beginning of my career. I had a student who had been struggling with a skill for a long time, and when they finally got it, they had a huge smile on their face, and I could see the pride in their eyes. That showed me that I was in the right place and doing the right thing. I love that I can come in every day and feel like I'm meeting my purpose, that I can also be improving the lives of my students, and that what I teach them today they can carry with them for years. If I had one piece of advice to give to new teachers, it would be to take care of yourself. It's also probably one of the hardest things to do. It's in our nature to give and give. But in order to give, we have to have something to give and be purposeful. We can have the nicest car in that parking lot, but unless there's gas in the tank, we're not going to get very far.
I think the thing that makes Katie Robertson an exceptional teacher is I've been able to witness her throughout the years as she started here her first year, and so watching her grow has been an amazing adventure. Through those years I have truly seen a compassion that she has for her kids, always worrying not only about their educational purpose but their social emotional needs and just making sure that their well-being is met. With that said, she goes above and beyond in the classroom to make sure that she is instilling our mission of STEM, as she has actually been published in scientific magazines and has recently embarked on the creation of a frog bog at West Fannin Elementary. And so she just has that capability to really feel the compassion for her students and to make sure that she is intriguing to them and offering them ideas to get them engaged in learning.
Katie loves her students deeply. She cares for both their educational needs and their socio-emotional health. So at the first of the year, Katie assesses those needs and she adapts what she does in her classroom to help the students be their best and learn and be successful. Katie is an innovative teacher. She's always thinking outside of the box. She gives students unique opportunities to incorporate real-world learning with what they are learning in the classroom. Katie is a teacher leader, and I'm amazed by what she does every day. West Fannin loves you, and we're very proud of you.
My best day of teaching actually happened last year. At the end of the year, the old seniors from West Fannin did a walkthrough, and I actually had a valedictorian from my kindergarten class and a salutatorian from my kindergarten class. So that gave me a lot of joy to see them come full circle and be successful in their high school career. What I love about teaching is that every day is different. We all learn from each other. I learn from the kids and from my other teachers every day, so we're always learning, and I feel like I'm a lifelong learner. I enjoy learning new things, so I think this is the perfect job for that. My advice to a new teacher is grace for the first year. Give yourself a lot of grace, give your kids a lot of grace, give your parents a lot of grace. We're all learning, and it takes a little while to get into your groove, so just give yourself time and it all comes together.
Two things that Ms. Fowler does very effectively that impact student learning is, number one, she is very nurturing to her students. She and Ms. Carolyn create a great learning environment for their children. They just respond to them from day one. They create that learning environment that is just great for students to learn. Number two is teaching comes very natural for Ms. Fowler. When you walk in a pre-K room, things can look chaotic if you don't know what to look for, but she is very organized. The students have a purpose at every station, and she and Ms. Carolyn just have a great rapport with their students that creates that environment.
She's very, very good with the children. She plays with them, she interacts with them real well. They listen very well to her. All she has to do is speak and they listen, and they just learn so much from her, and she's just magnificent when it comes to the classroom.
When the students come to us, they are essentially just babies. But they began with us last year, and as a whole, a lot of the kids struggled with thinking that everything was too hard for them. And they would say, that's too hard, I can't do this. So after a while, Ms. Carolyn and I, we really tried to focus on reminding them and teaching them that they could do hard things. So about a month later, I guess, we were doing groups, and I had a group, Ms. Carolyn had a group, and then there was an independent group on the rug. And during that group time, I saw one of the students in the independent group said, I can't do this, it's too hard. And so I had that, initial feeling of just defeated, thinking, they're not hearing anything I'm saying. But before I could say anything or remind that student, another student from that group came to him, put his hand on his shoulder, and he said, but we can do hard things. And then he didn't just stop there. He continued to model how to complete the tasks that they were completing, and that is one of my best days teaching. As a pre-K teacher, one of the best parts of my job is getting to be a part of their first experience into school. I take a lot of pride in that, and I really want to focus on that, put a lot of emphasis on that. It's a really great opportunity that I've been given, but as my pastor likes to remind me, or remind us, that with an opportunity comes great responsibility. So I know that I wasn't given this opportunity just out of chance, and I know that there's a part that I have to do with that too. And if I can help the students love coming to school, not just to my class, but to love coming to school next year and the next year and the next year, that's great on my end. I can consider that one of the best parts of my job. If I had any bit of advice for a brand new teacher, I would say take the time, even if it takes part of your instruction time, take the time to form relationships with the kids, because it really does matter. It really matters years later when they come back to you and still make a point to come to you to give you a hug. You can know that you've made a difference and that it matters.
My best day of teaching happened about 10 years ago. I received a card from a graduating senior, and my nickname for him was Sunshine because he didn't smile a lot and he wasn't very sociable, and so I called him Sunshine to try and pull him out of his shell. And in the card I got for graduation, he explained to me that when he first met me, he was going through a really dark time and he was really depressed, but because I kept calling him Sunshine, that helped him recover faster and bring him out of that depression. And so that is my best teaching day ever because it completely changed my mindset about teaching. My advice to new teachers would be to just breathe. It is so chaotic the first few years. You're trying to figure out what standards to teach and how to teach it and to differentiate instruction and, build communication with your students and parents and all the stakeholders, and it's beyond overwhelming, but it'll get done. So take time, just breathe, and enjoy it. So there's lots of things that I love about my job. I'm a middle school special education teacher, and so every day is unique and different. Each situation is different that I encounter, but the number one thing that I would 100% say is what I love the most about my job is being around the kids. They have really wonderful personalities. They're middle schoolers, so everyone's awkward and different and trying to find themselves. And so it's really fun to build those relationships and watch them develop into their own person. And so one of the fun parts about being a middle school teacher is helping them develop their personalities and getting to know them.
What I think makes Ms. Franklin a wonderful teacher is, first, how much she cares about our students. She puts her whole self into every class. She's there for everybody. The second is what she does for other instructors. A lot of us really depend on her for the different instructional technologies she brings into the room and all the creativity that she makes part of each lesson. It's easy to get stuck into doing the same old things, but when you have a co-teacher like her that's constantly bringing in new ideas and new ways to present the material to the kids, it makes it a lot of fun, and it seems like they get a lot out of it.
There are a lot of things that Ms. Franklin does that help students be successful in the classroom. Two of the things that she is great at, she's fantastic at building students up and helping them gain confidence in the classroom so that they can become successful learners. The second thing that she does that is so amazing is that she helps students transition from being dependent learners to independent, productive citizens. Ms. Franklin is amazing, and she is an asset to Fannin County Middle School.
Okay, what are two things that make Ms. Sowers an effective teacher and two things she does to promote student learning? Well, that's easy. The first is relationships. Ms. Sowers is outstanding at building relationships with her students. She cares about them, she knows what's going on in their life, and she uses that knowledge to build that relationship and promote student learning. She keeps her students engaged through building these relationships. And then the second thing is her absolute refusal to give up on students. She never gives up. She never throws her hands up. She always thinks that a student can be effective and that a student can learn and a student can be successful. Ms. Sowers she's great at building relationships, and she never gives up on her students. And those are the two things that make her a tremendous teacher.
Hope Sowers is a wonderful teacher because she is passionate about her students. She can take the most challenging situations in the classroom and turn it into a positive outcome for everyone involved. Congratulations, Hope.
So far my best day of teaching was graduation of 2020 and getting to see the kids actually come in, even though COVID had happened, and walk across the field and graduate, and to see them actually get to accept their diplomas in person. So my absolute favorite part of teaching is to get to know the kids and build relationships. I like running into them years down the road and them still wanting to talk to me and expecting me to remember who they are. So I enjoy that. If I was to give any advice, it would be before you worry about any content or anything that you have to teach, get to know your kids and build a relationship with them so that they trust you. Because if they trust you and they believe you believe in them, they'll do anything for you, even things they don't think they can.